I'm Connie Chung. John Goodman is Roseanne's TV hubby.
You're the fat guy in Roxanne.
Is there really trouble on the set?
We hit it off from Jump Street, from the first audition.
Really?
Yeah, I walked in, she goes, "How you doing?"
His story and much more on Saturday night.
This is CBS.
Coming up next on Eyewitness News, the East Allegheny School Board is confronted with the issue of racism in the high school. I'm John Shumway. I'll have that story.
Also ahead, Nelson Mandela says apartheid isn't dead yet, and President Bush appears to be listening.
It's a peak season at the post office. Valentine's Day. I'm Bonnie Barron, and coming up, I'll have that story.
And a Steelers assistant coach has jumped ship and is joining the Vikings. Good evening. I'm Stacy Smith.
I'm Ray Tannehill. Eyewitness News Update is next.
The James Austin Company has seen a lot of changes in its 100-year history. What started as the production of Austin's carpet cleaner in bottles like this has evolved into the production of a variety of products, including our biggest sellers, A1 Bleach, and of course, Austin's carpet cleaner.
Austin's products are made by this Austin family and a team of dedicated employees in Mars, Pennsylvania. So when you buy Austin's household cleaning products, you're buying Pennsylvania first.
Show your Valentine how much you care with the red rose from Shop and Save, and it's only $2.49. Or choose from a variety of bouquets and arrangements at very special prices, too. Then take home a half-gallon of Hagen ice cream, only $2.79. Charmin bath tissue, 89 cents for a package of 4. And buy 1 can of Thank You cherry pie filling, get another one free.
Shop for the difference at Shop and Save.
Why is everybody always picking on me?
Why? Because now you can get a pepperoni lovers pizza at a very pickable price. Get one for just $8.99 or two for a paltry $4 more. And at this particularly low price, who can resist picking?
Right now, bring home a Pizza Hut hoop set and rock the house. The Pizza Hut hoop set, only $1.49 with any pizza you buy.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
From KDKA TV2. This is Eyewitness News Update.
Good evening. Is there a problem with racism at East Allegheny High School? Well, it depends on who you ask. Parents of students at East Allegheny says there is racism in the school. The administration says the problem has been blown out of proportion. Now, the two viewpoints came together tonight in East McKeesport, and John Shumway was there. John?
Well, Ray, what culminated at tonight's meeting started in December when a racially slurred version of the 12 Days of Christmas was written by a student. It was apparently a joke that simply got out of hand. Since then, there have been fights at the school, suspensions, and even one day of searching students with metal detectors. Tonight, the parents came to the school board to say they have had enough.
The room was packed to the point of uncomfortable as East Allegheny School Superintendent Dr. Richard Napolitan presented Delina Scarpone with the Student of the Month Award. It's the kind of accomplishment Dr. Napolitan says meetings like this should be about. But the issue on the minds of these people of East McKeesport and North racism and recent problems at the school. Dr. Napolitan's conciliation allowed anyone who wanted to speak.
And the way this school... Thank you, ma'am.
Now, what you just heard was all in all, it really was a very calm meeting. And out of it, there seemed to be a commitment by the school system to continue its efforts to strengthen black curriculum for both the black and white students, and also a commitment by the parents, black and white, to work together for the school. But, Ray, this isn't an issue that just started, and it's probably going to be at the top of discussion out there for quite a while.
All right, John, thanks.
Well, a massive rally is expected in Soweto, South Africa tomorrow to welcome home anti-apartheid leader Nelson Mandela. The 71-year-old Mandela was released from prison yesterday after serving 27 years. Today, he held a news conference at the home of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Mandela told reporters he supports the policies of the African National Congress, but said talks with the government could be held soon. Mandela also reaffirmed his support for continued economic sanctions until the South African government dismantles apartheid.
Everything that we set out to achieve through sanctions is still the same. Nothing has changed. You must remember that the demand in this country is for a non-racial society. We are very far from that.
And President Bush echoed Mandela's sentiments about sanctions against South Africa. The president says he is glad that Mandela has been freed, but he says South Africa must do more before U.S. sanctions are removed.
What I do want to do is discuss these with these provisions with Mr. Mandela and with Mr. de Klerk. And I've invited both of them to come here. And I also want to see them continue to talk with each other. And then out of that, I think we'll have a much more realistic picture of what the United States might do in the future.
Now, U.S. law states that South Africa must completely lift the state of emergency and free all political prisoners before Congress will lift sanctions against the South African government.
State police continue to monitor racial tensions at Slippery Rock University in Butler County. This weekend, a series of fights erupted at an off-campus apartment complex between groups of whites and blacks, some of them non-students. The events culminated last night with the burning of a cross outside the apartment complex office.
And I looked outside my window, and I saw a car pull up, and they laid the cross out, and they poured gasoline on it and left a trail to the car, and ended up lighting a match to the gasoline, and the entire cross blew up in flames. They pulled off, and I noticed several of the blacks living around this area looked out the window, and they were pretty disturbed over the situation.
I said before the cross last night, I was telling my friends, I said, this is only the beginning. And then when I came home and saw the cross, I knew it was only the beginning.
State police are working with the university to head off more violence before the problem escalates. The Pittsburgh School Board held a meeting, and some parents attended to protest the reopening of the Ferrywood School. The board wants to transfer students who now go to the Schaefer Traditional Academy to Ferrywood. But Schaefer school parents say the area around Ferrywood is not safe. Ferrywood is in the middle of the Westgate Village and Broadhead Manor projects in Pittsburgh's West End. Another meeting is scheduled for the end of the month. The final decision will be made at that time.
Mechanical and structural problems are being blamed for the crash of U.S. Air Flight 5050 that skidded off a runway at LaGuardia Airport last fall. 2 people died in that accident. Now, the Airlines Pilots Association says it found a mechanical design flaw in the cockpit instrument that moved the plane's rudder. The cockpit crew, whose performance had been the subject of intense scrutiny after the accident, has been exonerated by the pilots group. The National Transportation Safety Board will begin its hearings on the crash tomorrow. The battle over Pennsylvania's new car insurance law was fought in Philadelphia tonight. A judge there heard arguments from Keystone Insurance Company asking for a preliminary injunction against that law. Keystone says parts of the law are unconstitutional and would force some insurance companies to operate at a loss. Well, tonight, the judge gave lawyers for the state and Keystone Insurance Company until Wednesday to submit final written arguments and said he will have a decision by the end of the week.
Members of the Steelworkers Union in Pennsylvania and 3 other states voted tonight to ratify a tentative contract agreement with the Allegheny Ludlam Corporation. That 4-year pact will give workers a $2 wage increase across the board and a profit-sharing payment of 5% of their wage rate. United Steelworkers members in Connecticut, New York, and Indiana also took part in that vote. Valentine's Day is now 2 days away, but already the rush is on at the post office. This is the 3rd busiest time for the mail system behind Christmas and Mother's Day. Bonnie Barron is here now with more on the story. Bonnie?
Right, last Wednesday when the Postal Service announced it was considering charging 30 cents for a stamp, we decided to put the Postal Service to the test. We mailed 3 Valentines from a mailbox on the north side. One was going across town, the second to the North Hills, and the third out of state. Now, this is high season at the post office when 70 million pieces of mail are processed nationwide in one day alone. That may be why some pieces, including 2 of our 3 Valentines, are a day late. No matter where in the region it's mailed from, at some point your Valentine stops here to be stamped, sorted, counted, or transferred. The Northside facility handles 1,200,000 pieces on a normal Monday. Today, part of the Valentine's peak. That figure jumps to 1,600,000. Love letters, Valentine's cards, and even some tax mail.
I'm sending about 2 or 3 Valentine's cards.
All to the same person?
All to the same person, yes. And hopefully they'll get there on time.
The system is organized down to a science, but science can't change some factors. Human factors like sloppy handwriting, wrong zip codes, or no zip code at all. Even with the mistakes, the post office says it will attempt to deliver mail within delivery time standards.
We'll deliver overnight mail within a 50-mile radius. Approximately a 500-mile radius, we'll deliver the mail in 2 days. Anything after that, we're pledged to deliver it in 3 days.
But the pledge may not have worked as well as hoped. Of the 3 Valentines we sent last week, the one we sent downtown arrived Friday, right on time. But the other 2 appear to have been a day late. The one we sent to a boss in the North Hills, well within the 50-mile one-day radius, didn't arrive until Saturday. The 3rd Valentine, sent to New Jersey, fell within the 2-day radius. According to the post office standards, it should have arrived Saturday, but it didn't arrive till today.
I got it today, which is, Monday the 12th.
And what is the postmark on the letter?
8 February 1990.
Naturally, there are occasions when there is a piece of mail that's late. With the tremendous volume of mail that we do handle, I wouldn't say that, it's a usual occurrence, but I'm sure that it can happen and does.
Now, I certainly wouldn't say that being a day late did any damage to me or my Valentines, but it may prove important when it's essential that your mail gets there on time. So next time, send it early.
Words to the wise. Thanks, Bonnie.
Tomorrow, closing arguments will be made in the trial of newswoman Liz Randolph versus B94 Radio. Now, Randolph is suing radio station WBZZ, claiming sexual slurs about her were made on the air by disc jockeys Jim Quinn and Don Jefferson. Today, psychiatrist Joseph Schachter, brought in by the defense, testified that in his opinion, Randolph suffered a series of panic attacks because of her personal problems and not anything work-related. Well, last week, Randolph's personal doctor testified her panic attacks were directly caused by those on-air comments. Jury deliberations should begin tomorrow. And the beginning of John Poindexter's Iran-Contra trial has been delayed. A federal judge in Washington postponed the former National Security Advisor's trial for 2 weeks to allow for time to edit videotapes of President Reagan's testimony. Mr. Reagan's testimony will be taped this Friday, and all of the major news organizations have filed formal requests to have the questioning open to the media and the public. The judge says he doubts he'll allow that for fear that the former president will accidentally disclose classified information.
Dedication. Anderson windows and patio doors are built to stand the test of time.
Through the cold and snow, through the years of rain, from the plains of the Dakotas to the coast of Maine. Anderson, build your dreams of solid things. We'll build tomorrow in. Come home to quality. Come home to Anderson.
When you enter a conventional lease, you could be trapped for 5 long years. So consider the freedom of the Audi 3-year test drive. There's the freedom of no money down, the freedom of no charge maintenance. And in just 3 years, you're free. Free to enjoy the luxury of a new Audi, the Audi 3-year test drive. Feel free to take it.
got home late and the phone was ringing. It was the police. Our daughter at school had been in a car accident. I needed more credit on my Citibank Visa to fly to Seattle.
He called for an emergency credit increase and told me why. I gave him the increase over the phone.
The accident was pretty bad, but our daughter was all right. Thanks to Citibank, we could be with her when she needed us.
Not just Visa, Citibank Visa.
Flowers are springing up in spots you'd never expect, blooming more than ever before. That's because now there's Petal Express, the new flower shop at Giant Eagle, where lots of beautiful arrangements are ready to go at prices easy to take.
This Valentine's Day, get beautifully boxed long-stem red roses starting at $24.99 a dozen, and assorted Valentine's Day arrangements starting at $9.99.
So if you want flowers without the fuss, you'll find them popping up at Petal Express. Only